the Lions really eliminated the Packers in the last game of the regular season. What what an accomplishment for the Lions, who had very little expectations going into this year. They draft Jamison Williams, who tore his ACL in college. They're hopeful that their offense could look good. They're holding on to Jared Goff because he has a lot of dead cap. Not too much, not too much. To look forward to. You're just hoping Aiden Hutchinson with the second overall pick could be a consistent impact defensive player, could help that god awful defense. You're hoping Jamison Williams could heal from ACLs. We've had a lot of progress with ACL injuries over the years. Hopefully he could come back, impact the offense. And you have, Brown, St. Brown, and Jamison Williams. You have two bookend wide receivers. And you start building. You start this rebuilding process. You think you have something in Campbell. You like his character. You like, the way he talks to the press. And you're just hoping to build something. To go from that to finishing the season 9-8 and being half a game out from making the playoffs, eliminating the Packers, who have bullied you for the better part of 30 years from Favre and Rodgers. That's crazy. Like, shout out to the Lions. Let's give it up to the Lions for a great 2022-2023 season. But before we continue congratulating the Lions, let's talk about Rodgers real quick. Jamison Williams goes up to him at the end of the game, asking for the jersey swap, which I might say it's a little bit optimistic. Jamison Williams, I like your confidence. I don't know if they talked about it before, but for Jamison Williams, who, he's still not getting like the full snap count. He's still coming back from the ACL. He's had some big plays, but he's still pretty much an unknown in the NFL. I think he's going to have a great career, but he hasn't done much in the NFL rookie season. Played like 5 games, if that, 4 games. To go up to Aaron Rodgers and ask for that jersey swap. Props to Jamison Williams. I aspire to have that confidence and just go up to one of the greats and be like, yo, we're switching jerseys. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers is like, nah, I'm going to hold on to this one. And, that got everyone talking on Twitter, on sports group chats, on your fantasy football group chats. Like, yo, Aaron Rodgers might be done. This might be it. This is it. And then the way the camera followed him into the tunnel and he's like walking off with Randall Cobb and they're like embracing each other and they're kind of like looking at each other. And you're like, this looks very cinematic. This looks like a scene from a movie. Like, we're about to cut to the credits and it's about to be like, that's it. End of the movie. So it kind of feels like Aaron Rodgers is done with the Packers. Is he done with his career? And he has been talking about it like the last few seasons about possibly retiring. So we'll see how it unfolds. What do you guys think? You think Aaron Rodgers comes back to the Packers for one more year, or you think that's it? You think he retires, or they trade him? He goes to the Titans, goes to the Raiders, maybe. I don't know. Is he gonna be all time or like a lifer for the Packers, one team, or is he gonna go somewhere else? The Titans might be intriguing. Go play with Vrabel. But I don't know. Are we reading too much into it? But I don't think we are. I'm going to hold on to this one. The walking off with Randall Cobb, one of his longtime friends. One of the, old-time Packers left, came back. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about of Rodgers playing with another team. It's definitely going to look weird. I think other teams might be weary that he showed, he wasn't up to the talent that he showed the last 2 years where he's been at an MVP level. And, with Wilson struggling, Brady struggling a little bit, old quarterbacks, Matt Ryan struggling. Like, is it that attractive to get old quarterbacks at the end of their career? We'll see, but something to keep an eye out, something that's definitely going to be talked about the whole offseason. Aaron Rodgers retiring, coming back to the Packers, going somewhere else. It's going to be interesting. We'll stay up to date. If I had to put money on him retiring, staying, or leaving, honestly, I think he gets traded. I think he stays, he plays in the NFL, and he goes to a different team. That's my gut feeling. But back to the Lions. Enough Aaron Rodgers, they're out. I will say this. Aaron Rodgers was talking like the Packers had already qualified to the playoffs after week 17. when they were 8-8 and they were in a win-and-in situation. I thought it was a little disrespectful to the Lions. I thought it might come back to bite them, and it did. The Lions had nothing to play for, and they played their heart out. They were calling some dope-ass plays. Bubble screen, pitch it back to the running back, run it. Like, it was crazy. What a good offensive play calling by the by the Lions. They were playing very free, and you could tell that they wanted to eliminate the Packers. And they do it. They go into Lambeau, they get it done. And, man, the Lions are dope. Honestly, the Lions are dope. Like, they're sick. Campbell, at first, I thought he was a little too much, but I've grown to like him. Campbell's sick. He's dope. I do worry about, that type of coaching where it's all, like, bravado and it's a lot of, like, using your personality and being the biggest voice and biggest guy in the room. How long that could hold on? Like at some point, it's like, okay, dude, like, it's your 5th year here. Are you still that pumped up? And, like, so, but I do think he's a good coach. He's backed it up this season. I think he's a player's coach. He's a good coach. So I think they're going to be trending up. Jared Goff, man, shout out to you. I was one of Goff's haters or truthers, if I might say. Like, he was not. I thought his numbers were overinflated with the Rams playing under McVay. I thought they were overinflated. I thought those numbers were fake. I thought, kind of like Garoppolo, kind of like, yeah, 80-yard pass, but you threw it 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and Debo ran it 83 yards for a touchdown. I thought his numbers were a little overinflated. I didn't think he was that good, like, because he did have some good seasons with the Rams, but you saw the plays, and he left a lot of yards on the field, like a 40-yard pass, but the wide receiver had to, like, throw him, like, make it hard to catch if you put it, like, more accurate. If you throw a more accurate pass, he stays on his feet and keeps running. Stuff like that, where I'm like, 40-yard pass could have been 60, type of stuff like that. But this year, especially the last 9 games of the season, Goff, silences his haters, silences, me, and he looks good. He looks decisive on that 4th down, or 4th and 2, 4th and 3 to end the game, to send the Packers home. Looks decisive in that throw, and he just looks very, very comfortable in the pocket. Shout out to the Lions O-line too. I did not know that they were that good, but last few weeks of the season, keeping up on them on Red Zone and watching highlights and seeing Sunday Night Football, that O-line is dope. So the offense is definitely sick. They traded their tight end Hawkinson, but their other tight end looks serviceable. They have 2, St. Brown, he's a great wide receiver. His yak is, like, amazing. Jameson Williams has insane potential, and Jared Goff looks like he could be not just a stopgap quarterback, but he could still progress. He's still young. He's 28 years old. Very young for a quarterback, especially nowadays. So we'll see. They'll probably re-sign him, and they have a top 5 pick, I believe, or top 10 pick, which is, I forgot how they got that, but they do have a top pick, and they're just going to keep building through the draft. Campbell is that guy. He's a dope-ass coach. With Goff looking like a real quarterback now, Aaron Rodgers might be on the way out. No one really believes in the Vikings and Kirk Cousins. But I do like Kirk Cousins, but, no one really thinks that they're going to reign supreme over the NFC North for, like, 5-10 years. Like, no one really thinks that, even though, I like what they got going on over there. And I like, their weapons, and I think their first-year coach, did a great job this year. No one really thinks they're just going to take over the NFC North and dominate it for 10 years or 5 or even 3. So it's wide open. I think the Lions, as soon as next year, could be, like, a very interesting pick to win the NFC North. And their defense needs some work. Started off disgusting this season. If their defense was just a tiny bit better the first, like, 6-7 games of the season, they're in the playoffs. And they're playing this weekend. But Aiden Hutchinson, he looks like he's a real thing. Love the interview after the game. Love his energy. And we'll see. Number 2 overall pick. I think he lived up to it his first year. If you get more talent around him, if you get more pieces on that defense, I think he shines even more next year. And the Lions are sick, man. The Lions are sick. They've been the laughingstock for the NFL for so long. In the recent years, we've seen the Browns turn it around a little bit. Right now, we'll see if how they do next year. And now we're seeing the Lions turn it around. It's good, man. It's good to see these once bottom feeders, bottom of the barrel teams do good. But shout out to the Lions for eliminating the Packers. Great season. Fell a little short, 9-8. No one. That's like 6 more wins than most people thought they were going to have this year. So on to a great 2023-2024 season.